Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. We here at Sandberg Student Services Leadership Team strive to help students plan for life after high school, and we hope that this podcast can be a tool for evaluating your post-secondary options and opportunities. We hope you enjoy.
Hello, Sandberg. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of EagleCast. I'm your host, Thais.
And I'm Leo, and we're here with Illinois State Representative
Aston Carner.
So to start off, would you be able to explain the role that you play in the ISU community?
Certainly. So I started as a student about 8 years ago. So first and foremost, I like to think of myself as a learner as well as an alumni. But I've also taught classes to incoming freshmen and, of course, worked as an admissions counselor at Illinois State. I really believe my role is to ensure students have an informed college search and that they end up at an institution where they can have success.
All right. And then what would you say makes ISU stand out from other universities?
Well, there's so much to talk about with Illinois State. I mean, we have 165 different majors. We're undergraduate focused despite being a doctoral degree granting institution with all the resources that come with that. But for me, it comes down to the culture. My first time on campus, I was your age. I was 17, walking in for an interview. I was terrified, like big bug eyes. And the first person I met at ISU was this little old lady who said, "Oh, honey, come with me." And I thought, oh no, like it's all over. I've lost it already. She pulls me into this office and says, "The tails on your suit are still tied. When you get a new suit, the vents and back are sewn such." She pulls out a pair of scissors, cuts out the thread, pats me on the back and says, "Good luck on your interview." And I was like, what is this place? Like, who are they? And at the end of the day, people are just so helpful. It wasn't just on my interview day. It was the same with the School of Music audition and just when I visited in general. I think part of that stems from us being a teaching college as our history, but part of it is also just that Midwest, Central Illinois niceness. And for me, it made me feel so much more comfortable where I was.
Thank you so much. To switch over to admissions, are there any distinctive features of a student's application that you look for or like to see at ISU?
Certainly. So we try to be pretty transparent about what we're looking for. Your GPA and your test score are the biggest things. Our middle 50% of admitted students have between a 1030 and a 1200 SAT or 21 and 26 ACT, 3.1 to 3.8 GPA, but really what we're looking to see is that you have an A or B average there. For our students in that range, you don't even need to do the essay when you apply. You're likely admissible for just about all of our majors. Students on the lower end, that's when you want to write the essay. That's when we start looking at your involvement, when we start looking at what type of coursework you did. Have you been successful in college courses, or are there some extenuating circumstances like your peg goldfish diet and you're really broken up about that? So those are the things we'll start to look at if you're on the lower end. Otherwise, if you're in that range, you're really set. You're likely going to be successful at Illinois State.
All right. And then in the application process, would incoming students apply to specific colleges or to the university as a whole?
So you definitely apply it to your specific college. All of our majors, with the exception of English and art, are direct admit into those majors. English and art, you start in general English or general art, and then you can declare your sequence after your first year. Why that is, I'm not entirely certain, but most students end up finding their way into their major. Nursing is also direct admit. That is the only major you can't transfer into once you're on campus. So if you're not admitted directly into nursing, there is no room afterwards. So I do like to point that out for students.
Awesome. In terms of aid, would you be able to walk us through the structure of your financial aid system?
Certainly. So let's start with need-based aid. The most important thing for our students is to fill out the FAFSA. That just opened up this week, October 1st. We tell students get that in by November 15th. In addition to what you get from the government, Illinois State has its own financial aid and grants that it'll give students. When we talk about merit-based aid, the Office of Admissions has scholarships. Our automatic line for students is at a 1200 SAT or 25 ACT and 3.0 GPA. Once you're at that mark, you're for sure getting a scholarship from us. Now, if you're a little higher in your GPA, a little lower on the SAT, we'll often still work with you. Overall, last year from the state of Illinois, we got $69 million to help fund the university. We got $67 million in financial aid to our students, and that's just from the university. So we're definitely committed to making it an affordable experience for our students.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so to move on to academics, what would you say your most popular majors are?
Yeah, so I would say the big 5 majors that a lot of our students go to is education. That's the first and foremost. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Our business programs, those are pretty comprehensive. So a lot of students get confused. Do I want management? Do I want accounting? I tell them, apply into a business major. Your freshman year, you're taking the same courses as any other business major. We'll put you in Business 100, and that'll help you kind of find your way into what you want to do. Fine arts is another really big one. Music, theater, dance, art. Our College of Fine Arts just got a $12 million donation from one of our art alumni. So the next time someone asks me, what am I going to do with an art degree? I'm just going to point them to her. But you also don't have to major in fine arts to partake in them. So if you want to be in the marching band or you want to be in a choir or theater, you can definitely do that without having to be in the major. Nursing is a big one, our most competitive major by far, but the students who go into it are really well prepared. And then psychology is another big field a lot of students go into it. I always encourage them to also look at sociology, social work, and anthropology because a lot of our students will find that once they've been on campus. And I always say, well, take a look at it now. Computer science is growing pretty quickly as well, though it is not quite as large as those other majors.
Awesome. So given that ISU is Illinois' founding teachers university, Would you be able to give us an overview of the teaching programs you offer from the time that maybe a student enrolls to their first position in teaching?
Certainly. So first and foremost, we are the only university in Illinois to have everything for which you can become a certified teacher in Illinois. So if there's a program, if there's something you want to teach, I can pretty much guarantee you that we have it. We have 2 lab schools on our campus. One is K through 8 and the other is a 9 through 12 high school. So you have some really nice opportunities to learn from teachers there. But there are also numerous other schools within the Bloomington Normal community. We got 120,000 people in Bloomington Normal, so there are a lot of schools that go around with that. In addition to that, I'd say that you can student teach whether you want to do it in Bloomington Normal or you want to do it back home. We'll give you about a 1-hour radius in which we'll look for a school for you. There are multiple RSO opportunities. So we have Best Buddies, we have Educators Rising, things like that you would expect to find. If you like to coach or you like to tutor, there are opportunities there as well. We have teaching alumni in 50 different countries and 62 different states. So we end every year with our education fair. Last year we brought in 22 different states of school districts looking to hire our students in 3 different countries if you include the US, so 2 foreign countries. So truly, there are a lot of different opportunities. I know we have a group of students who are coming here October 18th for our Future Teachers Conference. Outside of that, I will say we have some study abroad opportunities over the summer for those students as well, where you can be inside classrooms, and a couple of our majors will let you student teach in Texas, which thinks it's a foreign country, or in London, which very much is in a foreign country.
Mm-hmm. What would you say your policy on double majoring is?
So we don't allow you to apply into a double major. We want to make sure you're successful your first year. The only thing we'll let you look at, even with minors, is the fine arts, because we want you to know that you can audition into those programs when you're starting out. That said, you can ultimately take up to 3 majors. One of my favorite that you can do is an IDS major, so you have to have a primary major, but if you have a really strong interest in something, you can build your own major and present your case for that. So we've had students, one of only 2 universities in the US with a circus. We've had students come from across the US for that, and one of them built their own circus major. They took things from theater, they took things from fashion design merchandising and things from marketing and built a major about circus. So it was pretty cool.
When talking about teaching, you had brought up studying abroad. Is studying abroad an option? So what are your most popular destinations?
Sure. So we've got about 72 different study abroad programs that go to over 50 different countries. The only continent you can't go to is Antarctica. Those range anywhere from a week long all the way up to a full semester, even a full year for some of our foreign language majors. So depending on what price you're looking for, how long you want to be away from home, you have a lot of options there. Most popular destination is Europe, but as I said, you can go pretty much anywhere you'd like within the world.
Nice. To what extent would you say that internships are incorporated into a major's fulfillment requirements?
Sure. So some of our majors very much do require internships to graduate. If you think about teaching, like student teaching is an internship essentially, but also so does exercise science, our criminal justice programs, and a couple others. Overall, every major has an internship coordinator for it. Our Career Center will also help you find internships and jobs and practicums that you can do. And then we also have an internship fair every single semester to help you with that, in addition to our career fair, which is always looking to hire interns as well.
That's great. In terms of more of a statistics-based question, what would you say your average class size is?
Sure. So our largest class on campus right now is 350 people. That is our marching band. But our average classroom size is about 31 students. So much more on the smaller end. We have a 19-to-1 student to faculty ratio. I think that's a nice number, but faculty members can also be full-time researchers. So I always ask, what percent of my classes are taught by those full-time faculty? 85% at Illinois State. So if you come here for 8 years, it's about 5 classes not taught by a full-time professor.
All right.
4 years, 8 semesters. My apologies. Yeah. Don't come here for 8 years.
Does ISU have an honors program?
We do. So our honors program is all about deepening your learning. It's not about adding more to your plate, which I really like. When I came in, it was a little bit the opposite. I always tell students, start in the honors program. You don't have to finish in it, but at least get that opportunity. You're going to get advanced registration. You're going to have a secondary advisor. You're going to meet students who are just like you. But also the honors experiences are really cool. So you're going to have an honors seminar your freshman year for a semester, and then you can study abroad, or you can do an honors exploration where they bring in professors and say, just teach something you're passionate about for like 5 weeks. So we had teachers talk about drone use in agriculture. They taught about like feminism and leadership in the Harry Potter novels. And like there's no grades, you just have to show up for 5 weeks. So that it's all about deepening your knowledge, and I really think it's a great program to get involved in.
Wow. To transition to student life, what would you say Greek life is like at ISU?
Certainly. So we've got about 2,500 Greek students on campus. So if you're looking for a Greek experience, we have a pretty developed system, but we also have about 18,000 students that aren't. So I always tell students you don't have to be Greek on our campus, but if you're looking for it, you're definitely going to find it. In addition to your traditional Greek life where you're living in a house, we also have your traditional academic Greek. So like I was in a music fraternity, we didn't have a house, but we went and sang at retirement homes and things like that. There's also your multicultural Greeks like Divine 9 organizations and service-oriented Greek organizations in which you can get involved.
Mm-hmm. What is the transition like for students from our area, particularly from Sandburg, given that we have a considerable amount of students who attend ISU?
Yeah, we love our Eagles. We get a lot of them, right? I think last year we had close to about 25 students, but overall we brought in 3,800 freshmen. So Sandburg made up less than 1% of our class, far less than 1%. So I always tell students it is a great place. We know Eagles can have success. I had a lot of friends that went to Sandburg that came to Illinois State. Most of them did not hang out with each other, though. Most of them didn't even see each other, except those in the marching band, because marching band. But overall, I think we know that college is hard, right? You have to have a support system. Sandburg is just far enough from us that you can always feel like you're getting away, but you can get home when you need to. Your parents can come visit you, and having that support system sets you up for success so much better in college.
For speaking of kids that are first attending a community college, do you have any advice for students interested in transferring into ISU from a community college?
Yeah, so over a third of our students are transfer students. So if you walk around our campus, see 3 people, 1 of them transferred in. Of those, 3/4 to 90% are coming from community colleges. We work really closely with our local community colleges. We have guides as to how every course transfers from different community colleges to ourselves. And then transfer admissions is really transparent. For, I'd say, 95% of our majors, we say this is the minimum GPA you need. You need these grades and these courses. And if you have that, and you haven't seriously harmed someone in your life, you're admitted. It's that simple to get in as a transfer admission. So just be upfront, let us know from day one, and we can make sure the classes you're taking are going to count toward us. In general, if you complete an Associates of Arts, all of your general education courses are done the moment you walk in our doors.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us today.
Thank you so much for having us. Have a great day.
Woo! Okay.
Hi, my name is TJ Kastler. I'm the executive producer of the SSLT. Thank you so much for listening. And if you could, please visit our website and fill out our survey. Let us know how we're doing.